Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
Hey everybody, it's Zach, aka Zach's Reviews. We are backing up with another video. Today was Flash Day, episode 2 of season 7. This was a phenomenal episode. I really enjoyed it. It was so unique. It was I think we're finally getting to the point where we're getting our new villain. I think we only have like one more. I think we have next week, and I think the next episode after that, I think we're on our new villain. But this episode was so great, and you can tell by everything that we're getting into we're getting into that new point of like the new villain, and it almost feels like it's starting to get good, because this episode was phenomenal. When we got the first episode of episode 7, I was like, okay, this still feels like not good to me anymore. It's just, I feel like, I was like, all hope is lost. I think the Flash is done. But this episode surprised me. Like, the writers that they had for this episode are writers that have been on the show before, but it's like almost like Jeff Johns and like all them. I felt like, after, they see how we don't like the way the Flash has been, since it, the last time it was good in season 3. And seeing it now, it's almost like we're getting into newer episodes, and, they're trying to finish up the season 6, plot line to get into the season 7 plot line of the new villain and everything. And I feel like everything is wrapping up nicely. And I felt like, the core element of this episode was Barry's emotion and his heart, and he feels like his heart has gotten used so many times against him, and he turns off that emotion as we find out that the artificial speed force, when Thawne used it, it was all negative, I think tachyon energy that was pretty much powering it, and they turned that off so emotions wouldn't affect the thing at all. But essentially it did affect him when he did it, because when you turn off your emotions, you end up acting like a Siri. You either act like an AI, you act like Siri, and you act like just an AI. And it's crazy to me that we really see that, how even Joe said you don't your heart is strong, don't let that affect you, that your heart has been used against you, or you think it has. It hasn't. Good things are coming. We will save Iris. We'll save Singh. We'll save Camilla. We'll save them. And it's so great seeing how he thinks it's being used against him, but little does he know that tachyon energy, I guess it was negative tachyon, so it just made him. It was fed off of people's negativity of when Thawne had it, and essentially it did the same thing to Barry. And it made them into literally an AI, and just not having any emotion towards his team. And he thinks they're expendable. And just seeing how everybody thinks of that with Caitlin and Cisco and Allegra. They all see that they all know something is up, and they're so sad to see what's going on, and they don't know what's going on, and they end up finding out it was the tachyon enhancer, and it was negative tachyons from Thawne, and it's turning off his emotion, and that's what makes him him. That's what his heart is. What makes it makes him the Flash. How he's so pure of heart, and he cares about so many people, and he's willing to just keep making up plans to protect people and to make sure that everybody can survive, and everybody lives, and everything just works out great. And that's just who he is as a person, whether he's the Flash or not the Flash. You know what I mean? That's just who he is. He's a person that cares. And when you don't have when you don't use your heart, and and you're just thinking statistically, an AI, you really start to where does it end? Yeah, it might be working in the end game, but you're at the point where it's at the expense of your team, of you not using your heart and to think straight, and your emotions. And it's just crazy because we started this episode where he did use the artificial speed force, but it gave him he was able to think before people would react. He had speed thinking, and it was so cool to see that. It was so new and fresh that we've never seen something like that happen before. I mean, we've seen him speed read before, but never speed thinking. Like, he was able to predict what other people were doing, and I loved that. I was like, okay, you're going to do some serious damage with that, man, that you get to actually see before, like, see something that someone's going to do before they do it. And it was so cool to see all that go down where, he runs into Ava and because he knows where Ava's going to be, and when we end up seeing Cisco and Barry go there, and they're hiding, and they're trying to get the tachyon energy, I guess, because they need that stuff to open a portal to get Iris and get Sing and to get Camilla. So I really do love how we're about to, we're like getting to the point where we would get them out, and we'd get to the finale of how it was supposed to end in season 6, but they, since COVID and all that, they had to move it into season 7, finish off the season 6 storyline, and then to get into our season 7 villain. That's what people were telling me in the comments. So I love how things are rolling very well, especially in this episode. If they keep the pace of this episode on for this season, it's going to be a great season, honestly, because I really enjoyed this episode. It felt like we had stakes again. It felt like things were, there were stakes, if he doesn't get his emotions back, what does this mean for the team? What does this mean for Iris? What does this mean for Sing, Camilla, the world? The world. What does this mean if he can't think, and if he doesn't have, he can't think with his he doesn't have his emotions, and he just thinks like an AI. So I just really enjoyed this episode, and we get to a point where he calls Caitlin to come back, and he lets Caitlin take I guess a blast of mirror light, and it hits Caitlin, and he just lets it happen because he said statistically, I wouldn't be able to, there was a chance for the tachyon, enhancer they would get ruins, and I couldn't afford that, so I let her take the blow, and I knew I was able to create something that would, help her heal from that blow that she took. And that was all him thinking statistically and not with his heart, because when he thinks with his heart and his emotions, that's when he is a hero. He's a true hero. And just seeing that was just really cool, how we never saw that problem with Barry, how that's how he always is. He uses his heart and uses his, emotions, and, that's when he's usually at his best. And that's when, we really see those hero moments. And just when you don't put those, when you don't think about stuff like that, and you think, oh crap, what would Barry be like if he didn't, wasn't using his emotions, if he wasn't thinking, with his heart, how would he be? He would be like this. He pretty much would be like Gideon, but Gideon even cares. It's so crazy to me. And when he was smarter than Gideon, I was like, wow. We were like, oh, me and my sister were like, that's insane. He's smarter than Gideon. And right when he started using his speed thinking, and we're like, oh crap, he thinks and can see things before people even suggest things or even think of it. And we were thinking, I said to my sister, oh, okay, so Cisco's not going to like this, because what's the point of Cisco? It makes me think that if this is going to be a thing, I was like, what's the point of Cisco? But as we see at the end of the episode, when he forces, Iris to come back at the end of the episode, even though he knows that's not the right choice, and Iris doesn't want to come back, if that means that Sing and Camilla can't come back too. But he thinks that statistically that's the only way to, that pleases him. And that's the only way that, he thinks, Camilla and Sing and, everybody's, the way they think are all expendable. He thinks his team is expendable now because of, the bad emotions that Thawne was using to power the art of, to power, the tachyon enhancer. So this is just insane that, I'm so excited to see what's going to happen in the rest of the season. I don't know if this is just a season 6 thing that they're trying to wrap up into season 7, but I'm thrilled. It looks amazing. And I don't know if anybody know this, but that one scene where we see Cisco and we see Barry talking, my sister was like, Barry looked weird there. And it was cause I thought for a second, yeah, it looks like it's his face got imposed on somebody else, but that wasn't the case. As we know that, Grant Gustin, he's been working out a lot lately, so that's why he looked like that. I was like, okay, that explains it, because I guess he said on Twitter or something that, he would look different in this episode, and he did. I was like, okay, I had to get used to it for a second. I'm like, okay, wow, because I saw the pictures of him when he posted them, when he's like, workout progress, and he looked big. I was like, good for you, bro. Because me as a person, I really love to work out. I'm a big fitness nut, and to see how he made such a big fitness journey, and he looks the way he looks, it's great. I'm happy for him. So it was cool to see that, and because I was like, whoa, I was like, I guess they're filming the newer. I guess that's when he got into that shape, and that's when they started filming. Because when we saw the first episode of season 7 to this episode, you could totally tell that in the beginning, he looked the way he looked like in the other seasons, and then he got to his fitness goal, and that's when, and they're at that point where he is going to look like that from now on. I was like, that's really cool. So literally though, I was just very impressed with everything. The writers did an amazing job. The CGI was awesome. When we get to the point where Caitlin uses what I think it's called what is it, Velocity 9 or what is it, Bev, Velocity 9?
I think it's 10.
Or Velocity 10 that, as we know, Zoom was using, and that other speedster was using, but she wasn't really a speedster, but she was using it. That makes someone faster, and just to see Caitlin use that, because she knows that's the only way to stop Barry, and because they know something's wrong with Barry, and they want to start his emotions again, so he starts thinking clearly instead of thinking that it's okay to have people that are to make them expendable, because that's not Barry. That's not what makes him. Like, without him using his emotion and his heart and his will to fight, and him working with his team, you're just pretty much a villain. If you don't have those emotions, you become a villain. That's exactly how Thawne was, and we don't want Barry to turn into that. So to see how he's at that moment and he takes everybody out with that ball Cisco was talking about earlier in the episode. The ball was made to be unpredictable, and he knew that in the end, he knew that it would play out the way he saw it was going to play out, and they thought that they had Barry on the ropes, but yet they didn't, because he thinks before they act. So he knew the ball was going to come back and ruin all their ideas to try to take him down, because they were trying to stop him from making the wrong decision, because Iris wouldn't want to come back if that meant that Camila and Singh were expendable. She knew that wasn't the Barry. She knew that wasn't him. Like, that wasn't he wasn't thinking clearly, and she didn't want to come back. But as we know, she's back now. But just she was having a seizure or something on the ground, or something's going wrong, and as we could see, I guess next week's episode, she's in a coma, you could tell his emotions were starting to kick in, and he's like, oh my god, what's this machine doing to me, this artificial speed force, and he ends up breaking it. But when he broke it, there goes his speed. So there is stakes at hand. He doesn't have speed anymore. Iris is in a coma. His friends, I don't know, I don't know if they're going to be able to, trust him at first, or are able to forgive him at first because of all the things he did, but he wasn't in the right state of mind. He didn't know what was going on at the time. He just thought he had, the speed thinking, but in all seriousness, it was more than that. It took away his emotion and his heart that makes him Barry in the Flash. So I just really enjoyed this episode. And I was actually invested in this episode. I was like, well, this episode's really good. How did we get the first episode of season 7 I didn't like, and they just did the whole turn of events where they must have heard my prayers saying, please make this season good again, please, because I thought it was a lost cause after the first episode of this season, and it just ended up being good. I hope they keep this. This level and this speed going. I hope they keep this consistency, because I just really want this season to be good. I want the show to be good again. I just loved this show, and I'm just happy that I was very invested in this episode. I really want to know what you guys think down in the comments below about what you like. Were you as invested as I was? Were you as surprised as I was how good this episode was? I have a blast with this episode. I was like, this is phenomenal. This is so creative and so new and so fresh. I feel like Jeff Johns actually heard our prayers of please make this season good. It was trash all the other seasons. And so far, if this keeps continuing, I think The Flash is back, guys. I mean, I don't want to jinx it because, again, this is only one episode, but I'm just happy I enjoyed an episode of The Flash. I'm just so happy. This is great. If this keeps continuing the way it is, I'm going to be a happy fan of The Flash. But Yeah, but also, can we acknowledge that one sequence where the original Harrison Wells is still alive? Oh, what is that? Like, I was like, let's go. I was like, you're kidding me. Like, they're bringing in those little, like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened moment. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of those moments in this episode. Like, oh my God, this is so sick. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. Like, you know, the way Flash and Arrow used to get us excited. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're getting that back again. We're getting those, oh my God, I can't wait for next week's episode moments. Because that was me and my sister every like Wednesday and Tuesday of Flash and Arrow. We're like, oh, I can't wait for, and so, you know, after season 3, that's when I got bad of the Flash, and then after, you know, I forget what season of when, you know, after the Ra's al Ghul season of Arrow, it just got bad. But if they can make a comeback with the Flash, I'll be the happiest person in the world, literally. But I can't wait to hear what you guys thought about this episode. I loved this episode. I can't wait to see next week's episode. It looks great. You know, I'm just excited to see what's gonna happen in this season. I'm just so excited. But I'm gonna get going here. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day. I'll see you guys next time. But before I end this video, please, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, put in those notifications, like this video, because it helps me know that you guys like my content and it makes me want to keep dropping these bangers for you guys. Also, I would just love for you guys to join the community/family. We're at 200, and I think 26 subscribers. I really want to get to 300 before the end of March, and I could do it with your help. I would love if you guys come on this journey with me following my dreams. And if you guys can take something, you know, from these videos, some like motivation to follow your dreams, or if this is a highlight of your day, that makes me so happy, because I make these videos, you know, I make these videos to share my love for pop culture and cinema, but to also motivate people to follow your dreams. Life is short. Why not follow your dreams? You are put here on earth for a reason. You're special. Go follow your dreams. Go above and beyond. Don't let anybody stand in your way. And I just can't wait to hear from you guys about this episode. As far as I know, Flash is back, baby. But I'm going to end this here. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.